I got piping up the yin yang. This is something that when I started building this shop, I could have done the first week we were renting this place. We've been renting this place for 3 years. I could have done this in the first week. It doesn't really have any real cost to do it, especially when you just show up and everything's kind of a mud hole anyway. This is just scrap PVC, leftover from jobs. I've had it for years. This crappy PVC crap, whatever, it's been like hanging out just in piles just from old jobs. You know how it is. Like you get like 10 feet left over or 50 feet left over, and maybe you return it, maybe it's not really worth returning it, so you're like, screw it, I'll put it in my stockpile. So when I was building these roads out, I just threw pipes everywhere. Like I just threw a tremendous amount of pipes. And the reason that I threw a tremendous amount of pipes everywhere was because as the company grew, I could tap into these pipes and have utilities freaking everywhere. So I could have done this on the first week I was out here. I should have done this on the first week I was out here. Should have been like the first weekend with my guys, or the first dead day, or the first, slow week or whatever. We should have just been running pipes everywhere, getting water freaking everywhere, getting compressed air hoses everywhere, getting etc., just up and everywhere. So everything I've done out at this shop, I've realized I could have done for like very, very little money at any point in time. Like this lean-to structure, just to like work on the machines. We spent 3 years working on the machines in the hot Florida sun in the summer, like outside. And now we're like, oh, but everything we've done at this shop, like from those plants to those trees to those boulders to whatever, like this is the last section of the shop I've got to finish, by the way. This is like the burn pit. Hopefully we'll be closing up this weekend, or 1 or 2 more final burns, and we'll like close that guy up. And you guys can tell over here, this is basically done. Just got to clean up the construction. So if you guys buy property, you rent property. I rented shops for years, but I never really put any thought into the process of my shop until I sat back one morning and I didn't do anything. I was just working on my laptop over there, right? Over there on my truck bed, just getting a few emails done, just making sure the guys are loading the trucks and stuff. And I just see guys making trip after trip, like one trip to the truck, and then over to the ocean container to get stuff, and then back to the freaking truck because they forgot stuff. And then I was just like, what are we doing? We don't have anything out here organized, and we're making trips. Like we're walking around for water hoses, we're walking around for just stupid stuff. There's been many mornings, myself included, where I look at a trailer tire, it's a little soft, and I'm like, I'll get it when we get back. You know what I mean? So I put a compressed air hose bib right at the entrance, like right at the freaking entrance. So if you come in or coming out, it's like, and you think, the tire's a little soft. It couldn't be any more easier or more convenient for you to do. And I could have done this at anywhere, anytime, for almost no money, including just lights. I'm going to show you guys some of the stuff I've kind of rigged up, or things that I've used, things I've bought, and on and off, whatever the heck it is that I want to turn on and off. But I've used them. Another thing that I've invested in recently is generators, just to have like one generator. You can get them at Harbor Freight. You can get, I roll Hondas because you guys know, I roll red. But not sponsored by Honda, but I roll red because I like reliability. Another thing here is these Defiant outdoor outlets. I don't know if you guys can see that, kind of. I've used these for many, many years in the ocean container. So I've like used like zip ties and like pieces of line and things like that in the ocean container because we've got an ocean container shop. I'll actually show you guys that because some of you guys ask, how do I get an inexpensive shop? I went with an ocean container shop many years ago. You can rent these anywhere. Like these things are like, you can get them for like 60 to like $100 a month. Kind of depends on how nice you get them. I'll show you kind of what ours looks like. Well, it's actually pretty good. I like that. We've done here is like I've got to reset these up because we just kind of, but I got those lights at Home Depot. They're like $5, and I've string them, and I have reds and whites. And so if it's at night and I don't want my eyes to dilate, I just hit the red switch, and if I want to go, like brights, I just go with the brights, obviously. But an ocean container is a really awesome, inefficient, really safe, easy to lock your stuff up shop. And so it's something that, like, I've had an ocean container shop for like 8 years. And prior to that, I had a storage lot that I had for like 3 years. And prior to that, I was using Mom and Dad's garage, Mom and Dad's side yard. You know what I mean? But an ocean container, you can rent them, you can buy them. You can get those things for like $2-3 grand. You can also like rent them, like I said. You can rent them and then buy them, which is what I did. And then you can plumb out your ocean container to have all the utilities and things like that that you might want in there, like an air compressor. And you can go to Harbor Freight, like get this type of stuff. Like it's your Northern Tool. Northern Tool is my favorite. But you can get that type of stuff at your shop so that your guys aren't making these trips back and forth. Because if you sit down and you run the math and you're like, okay, if we waste, 10 minutes of time per guy per day, 5 days a week, we waste an hour of labor per dude per week. And if you've got 1 or 2 guys, and yourself included, wasting 3 hours a week, and that's like minimum. It might be a lot higher than that. Like for us, it was a lot higher than that. I estimate that we were probably wasting 5 to 10 man hours per week for the last 3 years since we've been to this shop. So that's a lot of cash. A lot of cash. Which is why I'm taking just like a quick 2 hours this morning to complete my utilities. You guys can see I'm just getting everything like kind of done, just making sure everything's like, the way I want it to be. Obviously I dropped an electrical box there because I've got plumbing behind it. I'm going to run some electric across the road again. I've already ran the utilities, so it'll be easy to do. Another thing I did for really inexpensive, I built this sweet shower. It's got a bench in there, 2 shower heads, tons and tons of pressure, just for the dudes. When the dudes get off work and things like that. Now the dudes after work want to hang out, have a beer, they can shower up, we can work on trucks, we can hang out, we can have a fire, we can do whatever it is that we want to do.